When do you think the strategy gets too risky, and when do you think it's not like worth pursuing, and on the other hand, like when it does get too settling and you should take more risks?
Yeah.
How do you decide on
Well,
that?
that is dependable of the size of the company, because if you're like 5 to 10 people, it is all in, right? It's all in. You cannot. If you start growing, what we used to do is always make sort of like bets. We knew that if we wanted to grow the pace that we wanted to grow, we needed to have, we called it pots on the stove. We need to have like little projects that could turn out to be larger projects. We would always have some money available for those projects.
But then how do you set that growth? Like the initial, like if you said if we want to reach that growth, then, but like how do you set it? And like according to how you set it, you're probably gonna take larger risks or smaller risks, right?
Yeah, and that has to do with the market challenge and the amount of competitors. Because in every market you have some sort of a game, you have some sort of, you need to be the number 1, 2 or 3, right? If you're not, you're gonna hyper specialize, and then in the end you're gonna be pushed out of the market, or your margins will be very low. So every market has a winner. You want to be the winner of your market. And the market is like defined by your sandbox. Sandbox is, okay, what is your region and what are your peer groups? So you don't automatically compete on the global market, or maybe you do. I think you guys do. Yeah. So in the end, you want to be 1, 2 or 3, and if you're not, you lost the game, and in the end your company will evaporate. So the whole point is you create the risks versus input and challenges towards the chance and opportunity to become 1, 2 or 3.
If you don't become 1, 2 or 3, then it's worthless. If you have a goal of like making a long-standing global company, you should aim at 1, 2, 3. You should set your growth and set your fundraising needs,
exactly.
and your things to get to that position, because that's the only way in which your company is going to be sustainable in the long term.
Exactly, because if you're number 6 or 7, you're going to be, in the end, you're going to be sold to a quarter of what you had in mind to another competitor.
Do you think it's easier to get to 5, 6 or 7 and then become the best, or you should like aim at being the best and do all the things to actually be the best?
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it that number 5 in the end became number 1, unless it was like sort of a reverse takeover, where number 5 had all the great technology of the future, number 1 had the market, number 1 bought number 5, and then with the technology of number 5, number 1 became even larger. And also the
lead. Is that what happened to your company?
It's very comparable to what happened to one of our companies. So you have to identify which game are you in. And in my vision of growing a company, you're in a game that you need to win, or else you could just go to work and go home, and go to work, go home. No, it's a game. It's you need to be make the smart moves to
okay.
win.